The exploration of the moon has long been a source of great curiosity for humans. In 1969, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin made history by becoming the first humans to land on the moon. Since then, there have been many arguments about whether or not the moon landing was real. While most people believe that it is real, there are still millions of people who do not. In this video, we will not discuss the arguments that have been debunked, such as the waving American flag or the lack of stars in some moon photos. Instead, we will focus on the evidence that supports the moon landing. Number 1. Lunar Module. One piece of evidence that supports the moon landing is the fact that the lunar module, Eagle, is still on the moon. After Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin finished their mission on the moon, they returned to Earth in the Columbia Command Module. The Eagle module was left behind on the moon. There are images taken from spacecrafts that have been orbiting the moon that clearly show the Eagle module on the moon's surface. These images were taken by multiple countries, including the United States, India, and China. The Chandrayaan-2 and Chang'e-2 missions also took photos of the landing site and the Eagle lunar module. This is one of the main pieces of evidence that supports the moon landing in 1969. Number 2. Lunar Rocks. The Apollo 11 astronauts brought back 21.6 kilograms of lunar rocks and soil, which were studied by scientists from all over the world. These samples contain no water and provide no evidence of living organisms at any time in the moon's history. However, important fragments of the moon's highland crust were found in some Apollo 11 breccias, which were interpreted as evidence of an early magma ocean on the moon. This was one of the major scientific findings of the Apollo 11 mission. Number 3. The Laser Retroreflector. The laser-ranging retroreflector, which was left on the lunar surface by the Apollo 11 crew, was a retroreflector array with a folding support structure for aiming and aligning the array toward Earth. The array was built of cubes of fused silica. Laser-ranging beams from Earth were reflected back to their point of origin for precise measurement of Earth-Moon distance, the motion of the Moon's center of mass, lunar radius, and Earth's geophysical information. If you don't believe in moon landing, find the right instrument and try to do that to see if the laser reflects from the moon. Number 4. Independent evidence. The moon landings were not only witnessed by NASA and US government personnel, but also tracked by independent organizations in other countries. Multiple tracking stations worldwide received, monitored, and confirmed the spacecraft's journeys to the moon and back by receiving and analyzing radio signals, telemetry, and data from the missions. The tracking stations that monitored the moon landings were located all over the world. This included stations in the United States, Europe, Australia, and Asia. The fact that the moon landings were tracked by so many different stations is strong evidence that they were real. If the moon landings were faked, it would have been impossible to keep the secret from so many people. I think most of you know that the United States and the Soviet Union were in a fierce rivalry to be the first to land on the moon. Because of that, the Soviet Union monitored the Apollo missions closely, using their Space Transmissions Corps, which was fully equipped with the latest intelligence gathering and surveillance equipment. Vasily Mishin, a former Soviet rocket engineer, said in an interview that the Soviet moon program dwindled after the Apollo 11 landing. Number 5. Footprints. The footprints and tracks left by the Apollo astronauts on the moon's surface are indeed still visible today, a testament to the unique lunar environment. Unlike Earth, the moon lacks an atmosphere and experiences minimal geological activity. This means that there are no natural processes like wind or rain to erode or wash away these marks. While micrometeorite impacts and extreme temperature variations have likely affected the clarity of these footprints over time, their enduring presence remains a symbol of human exploration on the lunar frontier. Number 6. Leftovers. The Apollo astronauts left a variety of items on the moon. Number 1. Human waste. A total of 96 bags of human waste were left on the moon. Scientists hope to one day bring these samples back to Earth for study. Number 2. Family photo. Apollo 16 astronaut Charles Duke placed a framed family photo on the lunar surface with a message on the back commemorating his historic landing on April 20, 1972. Number 3. Flags. Each Apollo lunar landing featured the planting of a flag, a tradition that began with Apollo 11. This iconic tradition symbolizes the mission's success and was continued in subsequent Apollo missions. Number 4. Fallen astronaut. Apollo 15 astronauts left behind an aluminum sculpture called Fallen Astronaut, created by Belgian artist Paul van Hooijdonk. These items are just a few examples of what was left on the moon by the Apollo missions. As you can see, there is a wealth of evidence that supports the reality of the moon landing. NASA is planning to land on the moon again in 2024 or 2025 as part of their Artemis mission. This mission could give us a chance to revisit the sites of the Apollo landings and see what has happened to them since. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos.